Good morning. I feel like I've been very busy lately in my life. Now it's probably around 7:30 in the morning. I came out here to sit on these boulders, take the dogs for a walk in the morning. I'll show you that where I'm at. You probably already know this view point. I feel like lately I've been very submerged in my life. I've just been going, 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 going. There's so many different projects that I'm working on and so many different things that I'm working on, but it seems like I don't know why. It seems like I'm not making as much progress as I want to be making or as I need to be making. Seems like there's been just a month after month going by that I'm still working on the same things and I haven't really made any progress. I still feel like in the twin flame journey, even though it feels like the pressure is off, it feels like I'm far more into just being, just allowing. What, there's a whole group of what does it look like? Wild dogs down there. There's 5 dogs. Look, I'm going to show you. All on their own. I've seen like packs of dogs like that. Dogs that are abandoned and that are kind of left to fend for themselves sometimes turn into packs. That's really a pack of dogs. As far as I could see, there were 5 there. That's probably why that little dog up there was barking so much. I've seen that before. Or wild dogs, dogs that are, that they're originally domesticated dogs, or they were abandoned as puppies or something, and they just become a group. I haven't seen it that often, but I've seen it before. And yeah, those dogs look wild. They're like, they're really pretty. They don't have any kind of collars or anything on them, and they are, yeah, that's a pack. Cool. That's something cool to see. That kind of took me off of my what I was saying. Oh, look. Oh, no, there's 6 of them now. I hope they're not. Look, there's 6 of them. My dogs are here too. Rexy, come here. Come here. See, there's Rexy over there. And there's 6 of them. I just saw them when they were moving that there were 6 of them. Where are they? They're right there. And they all move together like a pack. Cool. They're turning around now and going back down the mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 big dogs. They probably have a really good life out here, just being free. I feel like I'm getting far more clarity in my life. Even though when I look at my life practically, like in the physical realm, I don't somehow every month works out somehow. Um, and I feel like that in the projects that I am working on, like I'm working on a project now with a girlfriend that she's an artist, and I'm going to be doing print on demand with her artwork. I'm also an artist, but she has tons of artwork that's already ready, and it's beautiful. She's like such a good artist. And I started seeing, we did this course together, that course that I was doing on building a workshop, that in the end I didn't make a workshop, but I met a whole bunch of cool people and we almost made a workshop, but it didn't in the end come together. And I also during the process realized that that's not really what I want to do unless a workshop comes and builds itself around me, or I'm invited to be a guest at a workshop. I don't want to be an organizer of workshops. I already realized that that's not something that I want to do, even though I can see that I could do it. See, there's so many different things that I could do. Yeah, I'm a graphic designer. I could do graphic design. There's so many different things that I could do. I've managed stores before. I had my own own moving company. So there's so many different things that I could do, but it doesn't feel when they don't feel exactly right. It's like I can't do it anymore. It has to be exactly aligned with my being anymore for me to be able to apply myself, because any one of these ideas that I have that would be really good ideas for making a living, or for as a yeah there's yeah I meet a lot of people that it's almost like they don't have options, and with me it feels like I have so many options, but each one of the things would take over and engulf my whole being. And at this point in my life, it's like I'm not willing to lose my freedom. It's like I came it's there. I'm touching on something that's important for me. I've gone through so much in order to gain my freedom. And I was so many years what felt like under somebody's thumb, or even when I had my own business, you have to get up early in the morning and go and work all day long, and you're under society's thumb. You're still under a thumb, and I feel like I finally gained my freedom. I feel free, like I can get up in the morning, and I don't have these big heavy things that it's like, okay, get into the day. I finally have my freedom that I can come out and sit on the side of the mountain in the morning. But then there's another side of it that see the freedom is good, but I also want progress within the freedom. I want to be doing something. I want like a love project, something that and then I have all of these different love projects that I want to do. Like I want to finish my gallery map, and I want to finish the calendar. That is something that I feel like I really need to do right away. I want to finish building my website, which that is going to take from me a lot of focus and time. And it seems like, I think about it and I think to myself, okay, just apply yourself, just start doing it. And every time I try to apply myself, it's like my day gets away from me. I need to do this and I need to do that. And then I have laundry and then I need to cook. And then my kids want something. And then I have to get a box ready for Amazon because that is income that I do have coming in. And by the time I get to it, it's the end of the day and I don't really have time to apply myself. And also at the end of the day, I like to, do something that is enjoyable, go to the beach, if it's at the end of the day, it's already, and it seems like I never get to it. And I think that I just need to decide. Now I'm working on this other project that I do feel like with my girlfriend that I feel like should be easy enough and not take that much time. And also, I work well with other people. And so I think that by working with her, it will allow me to. Um, I see that pack of dogs down there. There's 6 dogs, and they're all running along in a line along the trail. And there's one leader, and they just look like they have an absolute, I mean, how wonderful would it feel to belong to a pack that's just wild and free. They came up here, they didn't want anything to do, they saw me. As soon as they saw me and the other dogs, they stopped in their tracks. They stopped for a minute and they turned around and went the other way. Yet they're not looking for trouble, they just want their freedom. There's like, oh, there's people here, no, let's get out of here, let's go back into nature. That's how I feel like I want to be. But they have a belonging. They belong to a group. So they have their security and they have their belonging and they have love and they have everything that they need. They have they follow, I see they follow the one dog, so it must be the alpha. And on the twin flame journey, I feel like it's come into a place of like calm, and there's no fences around it. Like I don't feel the need to slap a label on it or to start making like trying to grab a hold of it. It seems like the more I let go, the more it is, the more it opens up for me. Like we spend almost every day we see each other, really almost every day. I could say in the last 2 weeks, maybe there was one day, there was last Sunday that we didn't see each other. It's been a constant. He's been a constant in my life ever since I let go of trying to make him a constant. So in the morning I get up, like today we don't have plans and or expectations, and I actually feel today he's with his son, and I feel like today is just a day of let go. And I'm also going to take my son into town. I need to go and get a box ready to send to Amazon, and then I'm going to go and take my son into town and get him some school supplies. I need to figure out what they need for school and go and get the school supplies while I have the money in the bank. That's what I should be saying. Make sure that I get them their school supplies. And yeah, there's all sorts of things that are piled up, debts and things that I have insurance coming up and things like that. And I feel like more let go than I've ever felt. It used to be like I would be in pressure a month ahead of time before. And now I feel like God is in the details. Like what I've been feeling like lately is that really my work is in myself, to do my own internal work, to do my daily duties. If I need to take care of my sons and need to cook a meal, that's where that's where I need to apply myself and apply myself with love. And it turns out the best. Like yesterday, yesterday I was talking about how cooking a meal for my son, that I left without cooking a meal when my son wasn't home. Yesterday, we got back from the embassy from renewing the passports, and I did some work when we got home. I was tired, super tired. I slept on the way. But when I got back home, because it was a 3-hour drive each way. It was in Modi'in. And I think it was a little less than 2 hours. I think on the map it was 2 hours, but my brother was driving. He drives really fast. And when we got back, I did a little bit of work, I did a little bit of research, and then I cooked a meal. And then I went to the hot springs with my twin last night. I'm already feeling better. That, like my shoulder was all sore, and I'm already feeling better. And there was such a difference in him getting up to home cooked meal. There was a difference in his attitude. It was just different. And it's not like I don't cook for my kids. I do, but it was in the intention, I think, and in the me noticing the difference, and me making sure that that was there for him before I left. There were so many insights that I had this morning on the walk when I was on my way out here. So many things that I was going to say. I bet. Oh, I was yesterday. I also found some videos that I recorded in the winter that I didn't put up. I was looking for the channeled messages about the jinns, and I found them, but I found also a whole bunch of other videos that I did in the winter. So I found a few that are kind of amusing, so I'm going to put them up, or that I listened to and sounded interesting. So I'm going to put up a few videos that I recorded in the winter. So those are coming. I actually already uploaded them. I just need to finish writing in, titling them and putting in their text. So that those are going to come probably today. And I guess that this letting go, this twin flame journey, is really just all about self empowerment. I really feel like it's empowering me, and by way of empowering me is without uh, it's with ease. It's not, it's by letting go. The ultimate empowerment. Oh, I know another thing I wanted to talk about. The ultimate empowerment is just letting go of power. And that's the ultimate empowerment, because when you release, you come into your full power. My coffee. When you're trying to hold on and you're trying to make things happen in a certain way, first of all, you are limiting your options, because you're if something isn't going for you in your life, it's obviously you don't have all the answers. So if I'm still trying to sit in that place and force it to go down this certain path that I want it to go down, I'm limiting infinity down to one little option, and one little option that probably isn't the right way, because if I already knew the answer, then I would have had the answer already, right? So it's limiting it to what I already know and what isn't working for me anyway. And by releasing control, I allow the universe to come in and take over. I allow God, I allow the universe, I allow intuition, I allow myself to be at ease. And then I realize that when I'm at ease, I just flow into the natural place that I need to be. Like making these videos, it's at ease. There is there's no personal agenda. There's no, oh, I'm going to make these videos, and this is a place of my like love work, my God's work. I talk about all of my things here, without any kind of which still just amazes me that I get out here and just talk freely on these videos, and tell about everything that I'm going through, and the good, bad, everything. Also the things that I'm working through, the things that I'm not sure about myself, and I'm not trying to put on some kind of mask that I know everything. Obviously, I don't know everything. Otherwise, what would be the point of life? But if I knew everything, obviously, I would already be in that stand-up place that I'm aiming for. So it's not weakness. I feel like it's power. The being able to admit that I don't know, and being able to look and really dig in and try to find places to make myself better. It's not coming from a place of insecurity. It's coming from a place of security. It's exactly the opposite. It's knowing that we are all on a journey. Everything is legitimate. All of the thoughts that I have, as long as I'm doing the best that I can, and allowing myself to see the places that I'm out of whack, and even talking about them. Talking about them, first of all, puts it all out on the table. It's like, well, it's all on the table. Now deal with it. And it's not being ashamed of these places, also the places of weakness where I feel like, the places that I don't know what to do, or even talking about my money situation, that, and being just honest about it, not trying to make it prettier than it is, not trying to not tell so that nobody knows, or try to make myself sound better in those places, or like I know something. What I know, and what comes to me channeled, I know too. I feel like everything that comes to me is pretty much channeled. Otherwise, what is it? I'm just a piece of meat. That's all I am, sitting on the side of the mountain. I mean, if there was no enjoyment in it, then what would it be? It wouldn't be anything. Or if there was no pain in life or no enjoyment, then all of that is only here. There's no other place. It doesn't exist anywhere else. Um, and anything that I say is me putting out my own life experience, which is me sharing what I have to share. So I feel like, and that's going to lead me up to that other thing that I wanted to talk about. Is that when you let go and release, and just allow, and I think that the closest place that we get to in this life is an orgasm. When we have an orgasm, we are completely out of our mind. We completely let go. We completely surrender. You completely let go of any kind of hold. It's a complete release. And it's in the state that you are the most vulnerable. That's why I feel like sex, like making love is sacred, because you come into a place of complete vulnerability. And imagine if you have a sex with somebody, or you have like uh, relations, physical relations with somebody that you don't really know, or that you don't feel like that somebody that you're not completely open with or intimate with, and then you're allowing them into your most sacred place. You're being the most vulnerable you can be with them. It's like giving away your power, in a place that you don't feel completely secure. And that's why I feel like, even though I miss sexuality, I really do. I miss the intimacy. I miss the intimacy of being intimate and close to somebody and sharing that with somebody. But at the same time, the thought of of having, being intimate with somebody in that way, with somebody that I don't completely trust or love, it doesn't do it for me. It closes me. It turns me off rather than turn me on. And I feel like that is the closest place, and that is where all of your power is, in that place. If you can become completely vulnerable, then you and still stand up, then you are the most powerful, because it's like opening yourself up to the world. Anything that comes in, you're able to, la khil is to, like, um, embrace. But at the same at the same time, you're still standing strong. Like, it doesn't have to move you. I feel like there could be better words for what I'm trying to say, for what's coming through, the meaning of it. I feel like when you let go and you become in a place of surrender. Surrender sounds weak. You surrender yourself. But surrender is actually the most powerful place that you can be, because it is an allowance. You're allowing the world. You're not trying to force things to be. It's like, it is also a place of pure calm, because you're not trying to make anything be what it's not. You're just allowing everything to be what it is all around you. And you are being like an observer of it, and you're allowing it and not trying to control it. And at the same time, you're able to allow it to, like, flow through you, and you don't and then you can just take it or leave it. You can see things for what they are. You don't have to hold on to anything and try to make it into anything that it's not. And then you can simply choose where you want to be according to how it is. Having to change things so that they suit how you are is fighting against. It's fighting against the way things are. It's trying to. It's it 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 makes you get stuck on things in life. It makes you at unease, because you get up and you have to try to hold on to things or make them be the way that you want them to be, or they have to, you have to mold them to fit into your expectation, or how you want things to be. When you just allow everything to be, it's just like, let the cards fall where they fall, and then I'll go choose where I want to be according to how the cards fell. It's such a place of empowerment and ease. Everything just becomes easy in life. And also, you get clarity, because you can just, when you're not trying to force things to be how they are, you don't see bad in anything. It's like, because the judgment of something being bad is just the judgment of, it's not suiting to me how I want things to be. So when you let go and you don't have to have those judgments of anything, it's like everything is at ease. You are how you are. Of course, that's the only responsibility, is to do our own internal work. And you allow everybody else to be how they are. I don't want to make anybody change so that they can be around me. If they're not in vibration with me, then I can't. It's like, I have enough internal work to do. I don't need to try to force anybody else. I have my children, of course, that I guide them and try to make them see. And sometimes that can also be frustrating, and can be and it's something that I maybe still get stuck on a little bit. If I'm honest, I still get stuck in a few places. I try to catch myself and try to realize, I think that the progress that I've done and my own internal work and just being able to say this is already uh, extreme progress. And it's just at this twin flame journey just teaches you that, because when you release, like on the twin flame journey, the in the beginning, that you're trying to hold on to your twin. You're trying to hold on because the body wants what the body wants, the body and the mind. I'm not talking about the sexual way. I'm talking about in a way of being in this 3D in the matrix. The matrix, your physical self is trying to hold on, and it's the thing that you want the most. It's the yearning that is probably the strongest that there is in in the world, because it's like your other part. You're trying to magnetize. You're magnetized to them. You want to try to hold on, and by having to release them, you are learning that mechanism of release. It's teaching you to release. It's teaching you something. And once you learn, it's like learning a pattern. It's like learning a new behavior. When you learn how to release, and that's like the ultimate release. And when you learn how to release, you can use that mechanism in everything. And everything in life is just release, release and be, release and be, release and be. That's something I'm learning in my finances also. I don't have to control everything. It's release and be. I don't have to control everything. And by letting go, just like I said, because when you're fighting, you're fighting to make things go in a certain way. You are getting yourself further away from where you need to be. Because when you're fighting for something, you're trying to say, okay, what can I do to make this happen? Rather than when you're in allowance, it's everything is just happening and you are there, almost as an observer, or you naturally flow into the place that most uses or your talents. That's not the best word, yeah, but there's a utilizes. I don't know. You know what I mean? You fall into the place that you are most naturally, uh, um, which is your most natural place of being. And when you are being of your true nature has a place in the world, otherwise it wouldn't exist. Your true nature, where there is something, there is the need for it, otherwise it couldn't exist. Its counterpart is out there. So if I was born with specific talents and abilities, then those talents and abilities have use in the world, especially since there's so many people in so many different countries and so many different. I go into the city and I look around, there's just so many people. There's so many people. When you think about it, each and every person is like a whole universe. They're like a whole world, just like I'm a whole world. And every single one of you who is watching this is a whole world in yourself, and your whole world revolves around you. And all the other people in the world, they're just players in your game. It's like when I go into the city and you see all these faces and you see people that are old, that have been older than me, in their 60s and 70s. And I think, wow, they've been here 60 or 70 years and I've never met them before. And they have a whole life story behind them. And sometimes you see them that they just look miserable. And sometimes you see people that just have a bright smile on their face. And you can just see that the kind of life that they had that formed that. At the end of your life, you get to a place of pure misery. You think like, what that person had endured, and you can see it on their face, especially with older people, because the lines on their faces tell the story. Some people, you see them, I smile at people and they smile back, and some people it just looks like their face is going to crack when they smile, because you can see that they haven't smiled. I mean, when you smile, your face naturally goes into that form. your wrinkles are in that form. You see people that smile and their face looks distorted. And I'm saying this in a loving way. I'm just saying this in a way of observation, not in a way of any kind of ridicule or judgment, because I know I've been there. I know what misery is, and I know the loops that you go into, and I have no judgment. I know how I know the I've tasted so many tastes of life, different flavors. Life has so many different flavors. It's where you choose to spend the most of your life. You could either fret and go through life, or you could just be happy and go through life. And it's kind of like a choice. You get to choose. You get to choose. There's so many things I could fret over. I'm so happy, and I feel so graced and so blessed with this twin flame journey. You know, I was thinking the other day when I did a video the other day, and I was saying, what if it's all in my imagination? Who cares if it's all in my imagination? That's my perspective of life. That's how I see things. What does anything else matter in my life? My life is my creation. So as whatever perspective I choose to see, that's what makes up my perspective in my life. It doesn't matter what, yesterday my brother was trying to make me see all the misery. I said, why do I need to see that? It doesn't, because it's going to come into your, okay, so when it comes into my life, I'll deal with it when it comes into my life. And if I don't give it any place in my life right now, it doesn't have any weight in my life. Yeah, but you're living off in so I'm living in La La Land. So what? I have a beautiful La La Land life. So what? And everything, I tell the story to myself that everything is always working out for me for my higher and better good. And even the things that I perceive as difficult, I look at them and I say, okay, where can I step up from this? So what if I'm living, in his perspective, I'm living in La La Land. So it's fun in La La Land. I love my life. And he lives, yeah, I don't want to say, but his life is that, suffer, and everything's hard, and everything's gonna be, and there's pressure, and there's no means, and there's scarcity. Where's the scarcity? I mean, look, in nature there is no scarcity. Look, there only is. There is no minus. The minus is a made up man thing. See, there is no minus. Everything just is. Everything is just beautiful. Everything is just, it just is. Tell the flower that there's scarcity. Tell the flower that, hey, winter's going to come and there may not be rain. The tree is not thinking about, is there going to be rain in the winter or not going to be rain in the winter? The tree just is. It's just being. And when we just are, it's like getting into the moment. I've been talking about that. It's about getting into the moment. When I start doing something, do it to the best of my ability, be all in every moment. It's like it's like the yin, the yang. There's the yin and the yang. There's the looking at everything from the top perspective, coming completely out of my life and looking in and maneuvering my life in the direction that I want. So that's in the planning, like, okay, putting into the things that I do want in my life. Like I want and in a feeling way, right? By vibing it out. I want a beautiful, harmonious relationship. I want, partner for life with intimacy and everything that it entails, a combined life with somebody. And I want a home that I get up in the morning, I can go outside and it's kind of foresty, and I have a piece of land and privacy, and a small little house that I can do all my artwork, and a studio and an outside workshop, and that is connected to nature, that I can just walk out onto the side of the mountain. And I want to be able to travel and go wherever I want to go. And I want to have enough means that I can just, whatever I need or whatever I really want, that I can go out and get. Like now I need to fix my car, and I want to be able to just go and fix my car and not have to worry about it. or I want to be able to pay for insurance without having to worry about it. But I know those things are coming for me. And the way that they're going to come is not by sitting there, okay, where am I going to get this from? How is this going to happen? Trying to make it happen. The way that it's going to come is by doing the exact opposite, is by knowing what I want in the big picture and then coming down into my life and just going home and sitting on the computer and doing my artwork and putting out my book and cooking meals and taking care of my children and just letting my nose follow me and being with my, so I can either be like, okay, I want to be with my twin. How am I going to make this happen? Or I could just be in my life. And then when I get to see my twin, then I get to be with my twin. So, and then it's just doing it instead of trying to put some kind of big title on it and make it happen and force titles on something, because when you force titles on something, you never really get there. Even when you get there, you don't get there because you're still in the chase. When you just are, then you're already there. There's nothing that you need to do. So I think that I'm going to get back. I'm going to head back home and get this day on the run. Get this day going. I need to get a package ready. I was really, really happy. The last couple of days, my Amazon sales just skyrocketed, and that's like this providence thing. I'm in so much appreciation, really. Um, it's like I never know how things are going to work out, and I just kind of trust and get into the flow, and things somehow come to be, and it's like beyond me. So I appreciate watching. I'm going to go back. I'll keep you updated. I'm going to upload some of those older videos, so they're going to show up in my feed. So enjoy. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate uh, whoever's on this journey with me and whoever's following my journey with me and following my videos and all of the love and support that I feel from you. I catch the vibe. I'm getting the vibe. And I know that whoever's watching me, um, I can feel you. So thank you for watching me. I really appreciate it. And if you're new here, so subscribe. And when I feel like I have something of value to put up, I will. Even if I don't feel like the complete flow, like the last week or so, I've been kind of submerged in my life. Like I was saying, I've been deep into it, and a lot of times I don't really feel like making a video, or there's nothing that comes up into me bubbling like I have to say, but I will come, even if I don't have those, I'll come and make an update video here and there, just kind of tell you what I'm up to, just to touch base. I already feel like we have like a friendship, like we're part of a tribe. um and I also feel like that with some people that I'm following on YouTube that are like tarot card readers or things like that. I feel like I'm kind of connected, like we're connected to the same vibe. So thank you.